Chapter 25. Graveyards are more fun than Sunday school. It seems to me, the old man said one summer Sunday morning, that it's about time you started teaching me something. This has been a one-sided operation for too long. What do you know that I don't? Is there anything you don't know? I countered. Don't be rude, the old man chided. I was being serious. So was I told him. Everything I know you taught me. Wouldn't say that at all, the old man said. An old codger can learn an awful lot of things from a kid. Except you're coming on for not being a kid anymore. Seems to me you grow a foot a week. Seems to be I seem to be mighty hungry all the time, I admitted, laughing. Somehow or other, I never get enough to eat. You suppose I got a tapeworm? Wouldn't think it likely. You couldn't eat enough for both of you. Stop fooling around and tell me something. Out of all the stuff I've robbed off of you, what stuck the most? Serious? Serious. You'll laugh. I won't laugh. When did I ever? Out of place, I mean. All right, sir. Politeness. Politeness? Yes, sir, and I bet you don't even know this about yourself. Everything we ever did together was mainly based on politeness. The old man whistled. Well, damn me, he said, and lit his pipe. Proceed to inform me. I don't want to sound like Sunday school, but... You could never sound like Sunday school, he interrupted. You haven't spent that much time in it. I'll tell you one thing I've learned about boys before you continue. A boy who says he cut Sunday school to visit a graveyard because of its archaeological importance is either going to be a chronic liar or a man of great vision. Proceed. It was a nice day, and I kind of like graveyards, I said. Better than Sunday school. They're more cheerful. But if you still want to listen, what I was going to say is this. You taught me never to holler at another man's dog. You taught me to never hog a shotted bird. You taught me that there isn't anybody who doesn't feel like he's a person too. I'm especially thinking about the colored people like Aunt Florence Hendricks and Albert Gray and Mary Millett and Abner McCoy, all the people that let us shoot their quail and kind of look after us when we're in their neighborhood. I ain't speaking about yes sir and please and thank you ma'am and taking off hats and bowing and scraping and children will be seen and not heard at the table sort of things. But what I mean is I never saw you mean to anybody, including feist dogs, even including that Willie off the pickle boat you hit in the chin and knocked off the dock that day. That was a kind of special day, the old man murmured sheepishly. Man had not to let his temper rule him, but I'd knock him off the same dock again, begging your pardon, and knock him further. You remember the time you whipped me for not fighting Wendell Newton? That I do, the old man said. I warmed your tail for fair, and I'd do that again, too, because you got up and beat the tar out of Wendell Nelson, and have been fast friends since, with no worries about whether you're a coward or not. A laugh on the tail has a certain importance in its place and time. Everything has its importance in its place and in its time, including cussing. Sometimes you cuss and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you fight and sometimes you don't. You got to know when to pick your spots. How do you know when to pick your spots? I don't know. I reckon you just got your finger on it. Politeness. When politeness gets infringed on, somebody's wrong. You or the other guy, and it calls for a fight, whether you're using words or fists. You'd be embarrassed, I admitted, if I told you all the things you taught me. It'd get to sound like a lecture. Don't tell me, the old man. Just think about 'em. If they make you comfortable, I'm sorry I brought the whole thing up. The one thing I wanted to make out of you, apart from you not blowing your foot off with a shotgun, was a non-noble character. Our nation is afflicted with nobility, everybody wanting to reform somebody else. I take a little nip from time to time against the agues and aches, but your grandma thinks it's sinful, even though she'll take a nip herself if she figures she's sick enough. But when I do it, for fun, it's wrong automatic. There ain't really a reason why anything that's fun ought to be wrong, but women are queer critters. I reckon you couldn't hardly call 'em human, but in the end they're necessary or we wouldn't be here. But this is a distraction. What I had in mind was a simple injunction. Don't be noble. It's wrecking the country. What's noble? I asked. Well, it used to mean other things, the old man said. It meant a man of gentle birth, which is to say gentleman, which is to say somebody whose papa had enough money so he didn't have to soil his hands with toil. It was a part political, a part hereditary, and a lot of who had what, such as more pigs than the next lad in the bog. Then it got degraded down to a mental level with people thinking they were better than other people due to having more pigs. Then they got stern look on their face and had an urge to reform people who ain't as noble as they are, and blimey, somebody shoots 'em, somebody who ain't noble, and it all comes down to pigs. Do you follow me? No, I ain't that noble. I see, he went on, that you have picked up two deplorable habits from me, the use of the word ain't, and occasional flights of sheerest honesty. This'll make you no friends either, but will probably keep you from getting shot because of undue nobility. Are you tired of this? Yes, sir, I said. To be downright honest, if you left me somewhere about halfway between Knox Farm and Charlotte, about Lockwood Folly, I'd say. Now there's a man I'd like to have known, Lockwood, the old man mused. I used the like to have known advisedly. Here's a man with a home on a creek and an urge to see the ocean in his own boat, so he spends years building the boat, and the boat's so fine and big he can't get it under the bridge on the creek, and it draws too much water. Anyhow, so he becomes immortal. They name the creek Lockwood's Folly. Such, he sighed, is the material of which fame is constructed. How did we get started on this? I asked. I don't really know, the old man replied. I think I asked you an academic question and got very little in the way of an answer. Something about politeness or some such. You wouldn't care to sneak into the attic, taking pains not to be seen by your grandmother, and get our fishing tackle, would you? Yes, sir. That's what I like, the old man said. A nice polite boy who says yes, sir, to his elders. So many other boys would have said, no, sir, I want to go to Sunday school. It is Sunday, you know, I reminded him. If we play our cards right, the old man said, we can get back in time for dinner and tell Miss Lottie we went to church. Being noble, despite my warnings, had a certain amount of practical value, especially on Sunday morning when the fish are biting. He winked. If we get caught, we can always tell her we went to the graveyard to study the archaeological significance of early North Carolina tombs.